fair expectations in your mind. We'll do Caleb 1, Bears 2. Caleb, year 2. Give your, I know you're repping them nationally and you're talking them up and all the things, but what do you think fair expectations are for Caleb Williams in year 2 in the NFL with the Chicago Bears?
More across the board. So he completed 62.5% of his passes. It should be 65% or more. He had 20 touchdowns. It should be more. You had 3,700 yards and change, 3,800 yards and change. It should be more. 6 interceptions. It should be more because they should be throwing the ball downfield and taking more chances and going for more big plays. So, the only thing it can't be more of is losses in games played because he played 17 games. And obviously less than 68 sacks. So I would sign right now for, the first 4,000 yard season, the first 30 touchdown season, sub 50 on sacks, I think, because he's going to be a high sack guy. I don't think that he's ever going to be a super, he's not going to have like a Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, he's never going to flirt with like a single digit sack season. That's not his, or not at least for like a decade. So I think Bears fans kind of wrap their heads around. They probably have a quarterback who takes sacks, but more across the board. I would expect improvement in every direction.
How closely have you been able to follow kind of the normal OTA mini camp hype that basically comes out of all 32 teams this time of year? But I guess more specifically, I'm asking you just like how closely you've been able to follow the Ben Johnson effect already, and how much do you believe in it?
I believe in it a lot. I follow it very closely. Not as closely as you guys. I'm not listening to every press conference of every player, but I am listening to all of the Ben Johnson press conferences in totality. And, I still subscribe to The Athletic and, I'm still on social media. So I think I'm consuming not as much as if I was doing afternoons at the Score, but I'm consuming a large amount of it. And I mean, I'm not going to say that I have like consistent communication with the man, but he's been on the show. I advocated for him. I obviously know people at the Bears, both who play and in the front office. Stink has a good relationship with Ben Johnson and texts with him fairly regularly. And Ben Johnson knows that I'm the Bears fan on the show and that those thoughts are getting relayed. So I've got some insight into some of the behind the scenes thoughts that are not into the microphone. And I'm a huge believer in it, man. Now listen, in fairness, I was a believer in Matt Nagy. And I'll defend the thought process in hiring Matt Nagy. I think that thought process is generally speaking the correct one that you want to go on. But what Ben Johnson has that Matt Nagy doesn't is there's no Andy Reid. So he was the play caller. Matt Nagy wasn't, even though they pretended like he was. And he was the top offensive guy. Now, Dan Campbell was the culture guy, the aggressiveness guy, but I think Ben Johnson is going to be the go for it on fourth down, analytics forward person. But he's tough. He's detail oriented. He calls you out. He coaches you hard. And I think the players are, from what I've been able to gather, both publicly and a little bit privately, I think they're responding to it well, and I think they think that it's needed.
I agree. I mean, we just had Dex on. I don't want to go crazy, but it just feels different around here. But
again, like you guys have been around long enough. Like it felt different early Nagy too.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he hasn't lost a game yet. Matt Nagy press conferences year 3 were different than Matt Nagy press conferences year 1. They got worse. So I'm not sitting here saying, the guy is Bill Walsh, but I think this is going to work. And I think it's going to work fast.
Dude, let's go. We can go inside the business a little bit on that. I have been admittedly struggling with that myself. I've been through this before. I've been through this with multiple, 5-6 different regimes, whatever it's been. And every time you're like, oh, it feels different because there's always a honeymoon period. But this really does feel different from all those other times. It's because you're admittedly, you're trying to give people the benefit of the doubt because they haven't yet done anything to not deserve that until something goes terribly wrong, right? But when we talk about attention to detail, when we talk about him yelling at Cole Kmet in a practice or whatever it is, these are definitely things that are different from first-year head coaches I've seen come through the building in the past.
Yeah, I'll defer to you on that. Like I've not been on the practice field with all of these different coaches like you have, but again, I've covered it and been close to it and talked to enough guys that I think I've got a pretty good grasp of it. But I've been joking that if this doesn't work, it'll get me to believe in curses, because this is like, I mean, honestly, like, so much of what they've done have been the things that I've advocated for. Like, I was, Caleb number one. It was better for them to lose out a couple of years ago than like gain valuable experience in winning, which is like one of my favorite me versus the Bears establishment media arguments ever. Like,
Shut up, Biggs.
Yeah, Wiederer, Biggs. Yeah. Like I've enjoyed being very right on that. Like, I really like how right I am on that. I really think they would have been better if they would have won 5 games 2 years ago. I think it would have really helped. I would have rather not been in this situation. Forest through the trees. But like, I think while Ryan Poles has obviously had missteps, obviously, and my biggest gripe with him, which we talked about on the show, which I talked about on the Score every day, there's probably 100 hours of me giving takes on it. It was completely insane to give Eberflus Caleb. It was completely insane. I first guessed that. But even that, I don't think Ben Johnson comes here 2 years ago. He said he wouldn't have. Like, he said he felt like he had unfinished business in Detroit. So even that, I'm happy with the coach that they ended up getting for Caleb, even if it was a year too late to get him an offensive coach. So, yeah, man, I'm very bullish on the whole thing, because people keep saying, also, sorry, I'm rambling. I'm doing a calm question as a take.
It's great. I love it.
Like, I still feel like people are debating if Caleb is good. That is, to me, ridiculous. Like, he's objectively good. If you can have a better than 3-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio while taking 68 sacks, and your play caller gets fired 9 games into your rookie year, and then your coach gets fired after that, like, with the state of that offensive line, he's objectively good. And now the question is going to be, does he plateau? Is he inconsistent? And how great can he be? But I don't think there's a world, like where Trevor Lawrence got a second contract and Daniel Jones got a second contract. Like, I will be floored if we're spinning the quarterback carousel again 3 years from now. Floored.
No, I look, I've been saying on that topic, if to me, I feel like the worst case scenario is a Trevor Lawrence type situation where he gets the contract, but they're still kind of like, I don't know if we should have paid him all that money type thing.
We might be debating if it's a good contract.
Right.
But I don't think we will be debating on whether or not it is worth it to keep investing and building around the talent, right? Like Kyler Murray, Trevor Lawrence, like there are guys like that where you give them the contract and then you kind of grit your teeth a little bit. But like, I think this coach quarterback combo is going to be here a while.
Well, one of the takes I've had on this show is I think last year was the floor. How could it not be the floor? The 68 sacks, the awful coaching he had, and all this stuff. So, like, it's just kind of going along with what you're saying. It's got to get better. The question is, how much better will it get? Will it be a little bit better? Will this kind of be where, or will it be considerably better?